Hey everybody, and welcome to a defensive wild ride with Steve-O. I've been attacked. I've been attacked all over the place, most notably by my old buddy Bam, and he did so in a rap song. Oh, this rap song, it was very personal. He attacked my skateboarding, and not only do I address this in today's episode, I actually respond to all kinds of negative comments. You know, like people read mean tweets. It's interesting, so we did a little bit of that. Then we got into current events, and it turns out there's actually aliens. Can you believe that? I mean, easier to believe than to care about, it would seem. But yeah, and more current events. And then on the back half of this episode, I think every single one of us reveals something very personal, like Paul's addiction to magic mushrooms. Turns out that he's taking these things every single day. I can't even believe it. And Scott Randolph, wait until you see Scott Randolph try to convince you that it was a bad experience having the doctor put fingers up his butt. Whew. Not convincing me, pal. Anyway, we got a lot to get into, so let's get into it. So are we just going? Are you ready with negative comments?
Yeah, I have them on my phone.
All right.
You want to start with that?
I think that the title of this podcast is Steve-O Responds to Brutal Negative Comments, including Bam's.
Well, let's start with Bam's while I pull some up. What Bam comments are you talking about?
I mean, he attacked me.
Have we started?
In the most personal way. Yeah.
Oh, ladies and gentlemen.
Us.
Ladies and gentlemen, me and Scott Randolph, the gorgeous Paul Brisky, and Skinny Vinny.
Yeah, dude.
Yeah. We're back on current events.
Yep.
And nothing's more current than the personal attack I suffered from Bam Margera, who released a majorly produced rap song.
Shit was fire as fuck, dude.
Yeah,
so well produced.
So well done. The energy he put into it, unbelievable.
Where were you when you got the note, like, Bam responds to Steve, or were you like, what does this fucking guy have to say now?
Okay, the rap song came to my attention long before it was on TMZ.
Ooh.
I just responded once it was on TMZ.
Why? When did you hear about it?
Oh, dude, I heard about it ages ago because I get my news from Reddit now.
Oh, the subreddit.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, I mean, I don't check it as much nearly as I was for a minute there.
Sure.
But like every week or two.
Did you hear it when we were in the UK?
Yeah, I think I did, yeah.
Okay.
That's how long it's been
they
out?
only released the whole song like in the last week or so.
Yeah.
Okay, so you saw the teaser.
Yeah, all the teasers.
Yeah.
I saw when Bam was actually in the studio.
Was that a studio in Rehab?
It was a studio in L.A., I think.
Mm.
Now, kudos to these Australian mumble rappers for, making a wave and riding it.
That's the crew that he did the song with?
Yeah.
Okay.
But do you really think it's the kind of wave you want to ride?
I mean, when you're at that frequency that Bam's at, yeah.
I mean, I don't know that it was a great wave for Bam to ride,
No, yeah.
but I think that as far as these rappers from Australia, I think that they got themselves some publicity, some exposure.
Why is he mad at Wee Man? Because he skates?
He's mad at Wee Man for being a pro skateboarder. Probably because Wee Man and I had the collab skateboard, and the last time I was in contact with Bam, I was like kind of making a big deal out of Wee Man and I competing, like skate.
Right. The Steve-O versus
making
Wee
a
Man.
competition out of filming skateboarding to promote our board.
Yeah, but Bam had the chance to do that too.
Right, but Bam's not big on
making more than $5 a board in sales.
Well, I mean, he had the opportunity to do that. Like, I presented it to him, like, let's get on track. Let's be sober. Let's be productive. Let's do all this great stuff, and we can make a ton of money selling skateboards. But that didn't pan out, and so Bam got mad at me selling skateboards instead.
Damn. And so you responded on TMZ. You
I-
said,
yeah,
like,
I-
oh,
I-
you're mad
I-
I'm selling boards.
I recorded my response for TMZ. They got it up in lightning speed, same day.
Yeah.
And then I put my response on TikTok, and I saw it just go, you know, TikTok's the stuff either like really, really takes off or it just doesn't do anything. And this one kind of took off. And so I thought, oh, okay, let me put that on Instagram and Facebook. I think it performed all pretty well.
So has there been any response back from Bam?
No.
Do you think there will be?
Or do you have to hit him back to back?
I mean, it's so tongue in cheek,
Yeah,
you know.
for sure.
Like, there's nothing like serious about it.
I mean, you're not mad at him.
I'm not mad at him at all. I just think it's funny. Plus, dude, just today, I put a story because we're building the ramp in my backyard. And I put up a story with my goats and the ramp saying that since this personal attack, now I'm building a ramp. When in fact, I've
You've been building it.
I've been like planning on building this ramp for weeks, for months. But that story with the goats and the ramp, in 2 hours, it's over 100,000 opens.
Wow.
I don't know that I've ever had that much eyeballs on a story.
That's
Cool.
Yeah, I don't know. Yeah,
So Bam's hooking you up.
Bam's hooking me up. Yeah.
Is this Lux brought up that you are a rapper as well, and you could respond with a
That's what
diss
I was
track of
waiting
your
for.
own.
Right, but here's the thing. I made a video about my rap career. Like, how many people have we had on this podcast where we brought up my rap career? Not one of them remembers or knew that I had a rap career.
Yeah, you're underground.
Right, so, like, it's just not something that's so common knowledge. Now, I will resurrect it. I will resurrect it. Oh my God, I shouldn't even say this, but there was a text thread between some of the Jackass guys, and we were like dropping into the text thread videos that we filmed, selfie videos of us rapping, like our response, you know,
To Bam.
yeah, I mean, stuff that will never go anywhere, never ever see the light of day. But I was like, you know, oh my God.
Well, I mean, what did you say at least? Can you say what
Yeah,
you said?
yeah.
Let's hear those rhymes.
Let's hear those bars.
You should do like a vinyl pressing of your rap album, like some like a prestigious like
Crack cocaine
only
feels so
100 of
good.
them. Yeah, I've got it pulled up here on Discogs.com.
You down with STDs?
Okay, where? All right. I don't even know what.
Who did the art for that album?
I hear you don't think I'm a pro skater. Well, I'm calling you out for being a hater. Yeah, dude, you gotta know I'm totally rad. I just don't know why that makes you so mad.
Jesus, dude.
You still got it.
Wow. Kid still got it.
The kid still got it. You rhymed no with no.
Can people buy this album? Is that where you're at?
Okay,
I just searched Steve Rap on
hold
Dick's.
on,
Oh, we got another.
I got more.
Shit, dude.
Here comes verse 2. That
Okay. Okay. I'm a fly guy, and this is why I poke the puss until I die. But you just cry, all you do is lie. I tell you that your bone spurs is cap, your rap is whack. You get in the octagon, I'll make you tap.
Jesus.
yeah, that was pretty good.
Wow. Those are fighting words, Steve.
Yeah, he can fight you or Knoxville now. Now he has to choose.
He could probably beat me up.
Yeah, maybe.
Right. Okay, so again, we're not like being malicious or mean. It's just, you know, we're having a laugh. Always wished for Bam to get healthy and be good and all of these things. But since we're on the subject of personal attacks, it's an idea that we've floated around. is to hit me with brutal negative comments, and I will respond.
Have you still been pretty good on not looking at comments?
I'm really good.
Okay.
So
these are going to be the first time you hearing these,
right?
Well, where'd you pull these off of? The main channel?
The podcast YouTube channel.
Okay.
Yeah, I unscheduled the last YouTube video, the one of the stunts I regret, just because the promo was just like, I mean, it was comically like heavy, like, you know. And again, go to stevo.com and buy merch. Like, but I was sensitive about that. I do not want to look at the comments on that video because they're just gonna be like mad at me for promoting the merch.
Yeah.
Okay, so like, I mean, it's not like there are like the meanest comments ever that even exist. I was looking for mean ones. Like, there's a lot that make fun of your voice.
Right.
There was a lot of negativity on the Zach Ass podcast.
Okay.
Which we have addressed, but this one stuck out. Sucks you couldn't just give the guy a question. Instead, just grill him and then bring someone else on to steal the spotlight.
Vinny.
Which was our dear friend Vinny.
Wow.
All my fault.
So that, yeah, I mean, we addressed that.
Yeah.
Okay. Wow, I'm just telling you what I'm reading.
Yeah. Did you go to that podcast to find that?
I looked.
There's not comments about the Zach podcast living on
On a different episode, no.
No, people forget about it pretty quickly.
There's comments on that podcast.
Right. Okay.
I mean, honestly, this is going to be a little anticlimactic. None of them are like so bad that it's like funny or really going to hurt your feelings.
I think the ones that are relative to this would be like on the BAM podcast. Like, you're taking advantage of BAM, using him to make money. But it's like,
there's a lot of
There'll
those.
be a million of those comments on this podcast just because we're talking about BAM.
Yeah.
Yeah, so here's one on the BAM. The one where BAM's not on the podcast. You guys are talking about BAM, so
Right.
he's like in the title and thumbnail. Thumbnail.
Thumbnail.
Steve-O acts like he's your friend, and then he makes a public video to all his fans, public talking about your meth abuse. Bro.
I did not call him a meth addict. I said it was alleged.
Alleged meth.
yeah.
So yeah, people, feel like you... Well, whatever.
I mean,
what do you think about that?
Yeah, what are you going to do, man? I've done everything in my power to be the best bro for BAM.
I mean, even like with the whole board thing, it's like he didn't want to do it. It's like, okay, well, we're gonna set up a trust for your kid. We'll donate all of them or give all the money to Phoenix.
Right.
It's still a no.
Even
so it's
alimony
like
payments, right? Or like child
Right.
support payments.
I was like, you know what? You're going to get nailed with the courts for alimony, child support anyway. Just like put this aside from that. Like it would all... That's coming out of your pocket anyway, so let's just divert some money to that. And the suggestion was so offensive. That's the last time I spoke with BAM, I think.
He was mad at that.
Yeah.
How dare you?
What was his response to that? Like how
He was so drunk, dude. He was like, how dare you?
Yeah.
He kind of wasn't getting it.
Okay, your podcast with Wee Man has a lot of negative comments,
Okay.
actually, because you took a hard stance against video games in that podcast.
Oh, wow.
And the gamers spoke up. So this one came from Jim Sin 2506. He said, Steve-O, you're awesome, but if your analogy about video games is correct, are we just wasting our time watching your podcast? Almost all of your fans play games. If you think like that, then everything is a waste of time if you're not making money out of it.
Yeah, the gamers is a big community, dude. I'm a gamer myself as
Scott's
a Call of Duty guy.
I will.
a soldier.
I will give that to him. And I thought that was very constructively worded. It wasn't an attack. It was like, hey,
Yeah.
And hey, man, if people enjoy video games, have at it. I while away time watching stupid Netflix.
Scott, you haven't always been a gamer, right?
No, I mean, I used to play video games when I was a kid, but then I just needed an outlet to like not look at my phone for an hour, and it's done a really good job to like where I would just forget about time.
There's a lot of irony
wait,
in that.
what are you guys laughing at over there? What's that?
You're just
Yeah.
trying to get
You're
trying
not
to get your eyes away from a screen so you go to the TV.
No, not
and
the
play video
screen.
games.
My work emails, because I can't turn it
The
off.
emails.
Right.
So it's like the work emails. It's like there's no turning off for me. So if I'm sitting there watching TV, I'm looking at it. But if I'm playing Call of Duty Modern Warfare 2,
You're in the zone.
I'm in the zone.
He's cutting down on screen time.
Yeah.
It's not about cutting down screen. I mean, everywhere you look, I'm looking at screens, or, I think that's just the reality of life now. You're looking at screens everywhere you go.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, I feel like people have every right to waste their time however they want, and like some people do spend too much time playing video games, and it does have a negative effect. Same as Netflix, same as YouTube, same as porn, same as everything.
I mean, dude,
but probably most people have a pretty healthy relationship with it and just do it for fun.
I'm a super phone addict, dude. Like,
What are you doing on your phone?
I mean, I don't know, like just stupid Instagram or like whatever. I could be way more productive if I had boundaries around my screen time on my phone.
When you're looking at Instagram, are you looking at what other people do, or are you looking at like how your stuff is doing?
Probably mostly that.
Yeah. Do you think you have an unhealthy relationship with Instagram and social media and stuff?
Yeah, I'm
like Instagram for you is probably not a healthy
You don't even
door
like it.
to open.
You like hate it, but like you can't look away. You know what I mean?
Are there any sort of programs for like
I'm sure there
video
is.
games or
For
internet?
sure, they have like video game rehab and stuff.
Really?
Yeah. But are you really telling me that there's not more like vitriolic hate? Why is it that every time I go into a comment section, I end up with my feelings hurt?
I don't know. Maybe you should have pulled these.
Because I think back in the day, like people were just like, Steve's talking over the guest, but like those have kind of stopped.
And I think most of the hate comments are like all the ads and bam. But that's I've never really seen.
Yeah, people hate on the ads, but it's like, bro, what do you? We're trying to make money. Like, how do you think we're doing this?
Yeah, people hating on the ads just don't.
I think it's people hating on the ads don't pay for YouTube, so they have to see our ads and then the fucking ads that you get when you don't pay for a subscription on YouTube.
Don't we have no mid-roll ads on the podcast?
No, it's just our own ads. Like, there's no mid-roll. There's no.
So then
I think
it's
anybody
literally the
fast
ads
forward
for the podcast.
fucking ad.
Yeah.
Anybody who's hating on the ad reads for the podcast, like they're probably like fans of mine who don't listen to other podcasts and don't understand that that's every podcast in the world.
Yeah.
That makes sense.
Sometimes more. We only have 3. Like some might
sometimes
hear like
4.
6 during.
But
an
can't they
episode.
just fast forward?
Yeah.
And don't you have the bookmarks now?
Yeah. Now,
So
and now
like-
it's on YouTube. At least it's
How many
segmented.
comments? Sorry, I just did it.
So this is a great cut to be like, speaking of ads, have you heard of that?
Yeah.
And when it comes to the ads on this podcast, man, I stand by the products I promote. Take Fume, for example. This is a device that I always have in my pocket because I love it. And what's it for? It's for replacing bad habits with good ones. And it's got a core in here which flavors air. So you can trade in addicting chemicals and drugs with flavored air. You can trade in electronic gizmos with just this nicely weighted device. I use it all the time. I love it. And I'm not even trying to trade in a bad habit. I just picked up this good one. It's Fume, baby. And if you've got a dirty, bad habit that you want to drop and replace with a Fume, I got good news for you. Because if you go to tryfume.com and use the promo code STEVO, you can get 10% off your journey pack. And why is it called a journey pack? Because it's the beginning of a journey to a healthier you with less bad habits and more good habits. If you see me in person, ask me, hey, you got your Fume in your pocket? And I bet you I will. If I don't, I'll make a little shout-out video for you on your phone. How about that? Yeah, that offer is good until the end of the year. And the offer for 10% off the journey pack, I don't know how long that lasts. So hurry up and go to tryfume.com and use the promo code STEVO. Now let's get back to it.
And now
I was going to say, how many comments are there? It's like telling me that I'm better at not speaking over my guest, but right when I said that, I spoke right over Paul.
well, that's fine.
Stupid asshole.
There was one I pulled on the Steve Aoki podcast. Someone wrote like, Steve-O actually shut up on this one, and we got to hear the guest talk. And there are times where I do see those comments. But see, the thing is with pulling these comments is like, it's either stuff we've already talked about, like Bam or Zach, or the fact that you talk over your guests, or the video game stuff. Like no one's like getting at
new.
you,
Right.
like,
Okay.
Steve-O and his whatever. No one's talking shit on your skateboarding.
mean,
All right?
what-
It didn't get that offensive.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, you could pull up a comment right now, see if you see any you don't like.
I'm not worried about it. I'm gonna let that be.
Yeah.
Let's get into some current events.
A current event that I wanted to talk to. I was listening on to a podcast on the way here, and they were talking about the SAG strike, the writer's strike, and one of the problems was the use of AI. So.
Oh my God!
So hold on, let me-
Did you guys see that fucking video that I sent you about how gnarly deep fakes are gonna be?
Yeah,
So gnarly.
But to get to that point, so that they referenced at the end of the movie Flash, they had an AI CGI character that like used to be in an old Flash or whatever, and the people. Maybe that guy, like the trust, saw that and they're like, "Well, wait a minute, he's on the movie. Like, is his likeness getting paid for that?" And so I figured the question is like, okay, so if they're going to start using AI and the actor doesn't even have to be there for the movie, how much is it a licensing thing?
Well, I saw something that said that like background actors are getting paid like for one day of work to film like a thing that makes their likeness like in perpetuity throughout the universe forever. Like
Oh shit.
So they're going to be always in background.
I
So
guess
like an
yeah.
extra, if you're, because people do like kind of make a living, or at least a
Yeah.
part-time living doing extra work. But now it's
Right.
like you'll work one time and like now we got you and we can
Right.
use you forever.
And they
Right.
don't have to pay him.
Well,
And
but
then-
they
but-
must be signing something.
Right. They
Right?
said that this one tweet or something that I saw said that like Bill Gates got paid every single time somebody downloaded Windows, but like a background actor gets paid one day work for their stuff to be used as like many times forever, ever.
I mean, but the paycheck's got to be pretty big because no one in their right.
One day of work.
No, it's $160.
I mean, it's not big now.
Yeah, I know,
it should
but
become
who in their
big.
right mind is going to sign a contract for 160
Do you
bucks?
read the fucking 78 pages when you like sign something, or you just like, yeah, fuck it, okay.
Okay, yeah.
And then you got to
Yeah.
get a lawyer for that. My question to you is like, wonder if 10 years down the road they did film the Jackass and they used AI to do your character. They're doing stunts. How much would you want to get paid from that? It's like, wait a minute.
I mean,
But that's the argument is
so
like,
you're saying that AI is doing the stunts, so there's just no stakes, there's nothing.
Yeah,
being-
the Jackass example doesn't really work. But if it was like Leo DiCaprio in a movie, but he doesn't have to show up, they just use an AI version
that.
of Leo. How much does he get paid?
like that Black Mirror episode.
yeah, exactly
I didn't
like
watch
that.
Joan is awful.
Yeah, with
I don't want
Salma Hayek.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, so like that's the question is like, okay, they're signing things like, well, you did sign this in perpetuity. They can use your likeness. That's a licensing. Is it 5%, 10%? Like, what do you do?
Yeah, I think extras should be getting paid for that. Obviously, you shouldn't just
What
work
I
one
mean-
day for
Right.
like $60 and then they own you forever and they can use you,
Right.
and have you get killed by an alien in Spider-Man or whatever.
And I don't know what else the strike is really about. I know that the writers are upset that the streamers are not paying them like residuals for streaming.
Well, it's not only they don't pay you for streaming, because some people, they do, like directors do get residuals from Netflix, but Netflix just says, this is what we owe you. You can't audit Netflix. Like there used to be companies like the Nielsen ratings where they're a third-party company that is keeping an eye on things and sending you what is owed to you. But this is Netflix just saying we owe you $1,000, but you can't audit to see the numbers of like, how did you come to that number? How many views am I getting? What am I getting
Yeah.
per view? Like
Right.
you don't have that access to info.
And like network television, people are getting residual checks for like 13 cents, and they're like, well, like network television is dead. It's all about the streaming services.
But they're
And
not
these
paying residuals.
These CEOs they said for the year on some of these CEOs, like what Bob Iger made 27 million. Another guy the last 5 years, I mean, the top 5 made about 300 to 400 million each. For
Yeah.
the CEO position, and they're like, well, people aren't getting paid. Can you look up how many people are on strike right now? Because
and
they
now
said
now the actors are on strike.
The actors-
supporting
Right.
them,
I
too.
mean, it's
the
crazy.
actors
Like,
and the writers are both on strike, and they said they haven't done this since 1960. And I think there's 171,000 people on strike. But that's, how long is that going to go for?
So the big picture, a strike by Hollywood's largest union, which encompasses 160,000 members in total.
That's actors. What about screenwriters? the writers are on
Yeah,
strike
so
too.
that's actors joining the writers on strike.
So now they can't shoot any TV shows, any movies.
They need content. So what are these big streaming platforms going to do when they can't?
Well, they're gonna shoot more, like they're gonna just get more shows from Korea and stuff like that. Like you're gonna see Squid Games like 8 showing up. You
Yeah,
know?
they're not. Yeah, Koreans aren't on SAG, and
Yeah,
so
like
they
it's
can-
just the U.S. I think that's striking.
And
so.
I read something that Universal trimmed the trees so the protesters didn't have any shade while they were protesting.
That's so gnarly.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, so like now there's like a whole investigation.
I mean, I think the streamers know.
What are they going to investigate? It's their trees.
Yeah, I know. There's this whole thing about it. It's pretty wild.
Yeah,
Yeah,
you-
it's fucking warfare, dude.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
think that's fair to me. I think the streamers know this can't last forever. Like they will have to pay residuals. They will have to like be auditable and show their numbers to people, and they're just holding on for as long as they can because they're making so much money. And at the moment, they don't owe anybody's shit.
Well, and they said a lot of these people, 171,000 people or 160,000 people are out of work. So they said, you know, what do they wait till their third mortgage payment is up and then go back to the negotiating table, see if they're willing to, because these people can't do anything else because they're in part of a union. So like we've had the conversation. Some people can't even come on the podcast because they're in the SAG and they can't talk
On
about
strike.
it. So like.
Somebody suggested to me that I should go to the strike line or the picket line, whatever, and do something or other.
You're a SAG member, yeah?
Yeah. And my response to this person was that I really don't understand quite what it's all about, and I can't help but feel that the entertainment industry, the conventional, mainstream industry just kind of lost interest in me, and now like I identify as a digital
Ronan.
YouTuber and influencer guy, a non-union. I kind of identify more as a digital guy than
Yeah, and you kind of make your own work. Like you're not waiting by the phone for somebody to give you a job. But still, like what happened with Jackass and Paramount Plus was
Right.
kind of probably bullshit and
Right.
should be maybe illegal. And like all this, like everyone working together to demand change so that shit like that doesn't happen anymore.
But dude, it's like
kind of
not.
important.
It's not only that. So you have all those people on strike, but what about the camera crew? What about the lighting crew? Like now they're all out of work, so it's a bigger issue. You know, all these people are out of work.
And so what? Because they're in a union, they can't like start driving Uber or
I
something.
think you could drive Uber, but you can't do what your trade's in.
I wonder if Uber prices will go down.
When Jackass was put to streaming, were they telling you the numbers on what it was getting?
No.
Or
Plus, Paramount Plus didn't exist when we did our deals for the Jackass movie. And so it wasn't built into our contracts that they could put it on Paramount Plus,
Shit.
as this is how I understand it. And then when the movie came out, they did not take it to Netflix or to get an idea of its market value. They just sold it to themselves.
So gnarly.
And they gave themselves a pretty good deal.
Yeah.
yeah,
So we got kind of screwed out of that.
Wasn't that what they're striking for? Like now,
I
like
guess, I don't know.
yeah.
Yeah, I think like actors, it used to be like if you're in an episode of the Cosby Show, every time that episode airs, you're getting paid. It makes sense. I'm glad they're striking. I hope they
I'm not
get what
mad
they're
at them
after.
for striking.
Yeah.
I just don't feel really, personally emotional about it.
And
Yeah,
you
but
are
what
safe
about-
because
But what about being? I mean, you were pretty mainstream for years, right? So you don't think you have some sort of like compassion for?
Yeah, I mean, sure, compassion.
Yeah.
But I just don't ever feel like and maybe this is why I should be supportive of the strike, because I don't feel like I was ever particularly looked out for by the...
right, you didn't get residuals from the Jackass TV show.
Right.
And you got fucked on Jackass forever with Paramount Plus.
I mean, maybe I should be like more and more...
You get residuals off Wild Boys?
No. God,
Whoa.
no.
That's so fucking crazy, dude.
Yeah, that is crazy.
Yeah, I don't get anything. So yeah, maybe
anyway.
I should care, and I'm just an ignorant, dick.
Maybe go see what the fuss is all about.
Yeah. Okay. So what other current events do we
So
have?
right now there's like hearings happening in Washington about UFOs.
UFOs. You know what else is out of this world? Something inspired by NASA is my new bedding from Miracle Made. And what makes it so special is that it's silver infused fabric that makes the bedding regulated temperature that's better for you to sleep at, plus it precludes bacteria from growing on your sheets. I mean, you got like 99.9% of bacteria isn't even messing with your sheets. So less disgusting, a lot more comfortable, and better for your health and your sleep. That is Miracle Made, and it gets better and better, because if you go to trymiracle.com/Stevo, not only can you get 3 free towels, but you're talking about 40% off your order. And like everything, man, I stand by this product, dude. Miracle Made bedding. Go to trymiracle.com/Stevo. Get those 3 free towels and 40% off your order. Plus, rest assured that there's a 30-day money-back guarantee. They're so sure that you're going to love this bedding. So, nothing to lose, man. Get on over to trymiracle.com/Stevo. And let's get back to it.
Yeah.
And government people are under oath saying, yes, I mean, yes, there are crafts. Yes, we have biological entities like aliens also who were piloting those crafts. And all of that exists. And that is happening right now under oath.
Tom DeLonge tweeted, I saw his tweet. I was right. Aliens exist.
So is it a coincidence, though, that this is the same day that the Biden jury or trial starts? Like, are they trying to cover up what's going on with, like, the Biden
It could be
alleged
conveniently
tweaker?
timed for that. Like, oh, let's do it that day. But still, this has been in the works for a long time.
But it's always like when something else is in the news, they bring up UFOs. Haven't you
Yeah,
noticed
but
that?
nobody cares about UFOs, so it's not effective.
people are
Like,
starting to care now, though.
Tom DeLonge does.
I care about UFOs. I mean, it's one of the biggest questions you can have.
So, are there biological entities among us, like that we see as humans, but they're not humans?
That I have not heard.
I mean, I've seen conspiracies on that. That's
Of course,
true.
there's conspiracies on that. But I've only seen a little bit of this footage of the trials. But it was just, they're called biologics. That's what they're calling them, non-human biologics. So they're not saying humanoid or human-looking things. They're saying nothing about walking among us or anything like that. They're just saying, from what I saw, crafts have been recovered, and there were pilots of some of those crafts which have also been recovered. I didn't hear anything
And they've
about,
been
are they
identified
alive?
as non-human.
Non-human, yes.
They identify
Okay,
as
so-
non-human.
They identify as non-human.
So
Are they mad at us?
That I don't know, but there was one question like, has there been any violence like from them, like towards the people around? And the guy said like, yeah, there's been some like,
Some of the stuff me and my wife saw, like, what did he say?
yeah, he said, I saw some disturbing things. That's what he said. Like in a question referring to like, have they like hurt anybody in this process?
And there were people who were murdered in a cover-up attempt.
I didn't see anything about that.
Yep, like
What you talking about?
Google that.
Murdered by who?
You talking about Obama's chef that just died?
No. I
Scott's got
saw,
all the good.
I saw there was a headline that that people were murdered in UFO cover-ups.
Where? When?
You know,
Was anyone been murdered? Jesus.
Well, okay, so this is the guy who's on trial. The congressman asked UFO whistleblower if anyone has been murdered to maintain alleged cover-up.
And what did he say?
Tim Burchett asked the government whistleblower whether he believes anyone's been murdered, blah, blah, blah.
Very, very bottom right there. Do you have any personal knowledge of people who have been harmed or injured in efforts to cover up and conceal these extraterrestrials? Yes. Replied personally. I mean,
Has
there are-
anyone been murdered? He hesitated for a moment. Before saying, I have to be careful asking that question, he said, citing a current investigation, whether or not subject, blah, blah, blah. I directed people with that knowledge to the appropriate authorities. So
yes.
so he
that's sort of
pleaded the
alluding
fifth.
to.
So he said there's been murders.
So it's this one guy who's like a whistleblower.
No, but there's many of them out there. He's probably just the first guy that's on trial. But I feel like there's been other people in front of Congress talking about it. Dr. David Greer. He's big. Bob Lazar.
Bob Lazar, but I don't think Bob Lazar's ever spoken in front of Congress.
He should.
Has he?
No.
I've just seen him on like Rogan and stuff.
Okay, so there's UFOs. What does that like mean? How does that affect my daily life?
I don't know. So you don't care at all about aliens and UFOs?
I mean, tell me why.
UFOs, big whoop.
Like, tell me how that changes anything.
I mean, we're not alone in the universe. There's aliens that have landed on planet Earth, and they're here.
Are they mad at us?
I don't know.
I think they.
I don't know, but this may
they
affect your life.
I mean, they said they started showing up when we started like inventing nuclear bombs.
But you're sort of conflating like conspiracy theories and this. Like, this guy hasn't said that. You're just saying that's a general sense
he
that a
never
lot of
said
people
that.
assume.
Did you watch Oppenheimer?
No, not yet. Did you?
Yeah.
How
Did
was
you
it?
like it?
Whenever I watch a movie that's based on a true story, like I immediately turn around and then watch the actual documentary, like or whatever. And in the case of Oppenheimer, like, sure, when they're like counting down, like they're blowing up the test bomb, like that's super intense. It's like really eerie when they have like the box jet bombs that are being sent to go bomb Japan. That's super crazy. But overall, I kind of felt like it was just, I wasn't really getting it. I was like, man, I can't wait to get home and watch like a more like easy to digest true story about it.
Did you see Barbie?
I did not see Barbie. But,
Barbie blew it out of the water, huh?
Yeah, Barbie killed it.
Yeah.
Yeah. What
like the
what
marketing
score
was
would you
better.
give Oppenheimer out of 1 to 100?
I didn't think it was that great, man.
It just never grabbed you? You never really gave a shit during it?
Didn't, like,
It
How was
felt
the
like the full
acting?
3 hours.
it didn't feel like a full 3 hours, but I was just like, with the artisticness, you know, like just tell me the story.
I mean, how was Cillian
like-
Murphy?
Silly? Was he a silly boy?
Is this?
I
Yeah.
mean, he was. It was kind of cool that he spoke with an American accent, but he did it kind of weird. I don't know. I want to love Cillian Murphy. I want to love like Robert Downey Jr. Like all of it. And I'm not mad at it. I'm not saying it was bad.
So you wouldn't
I
recommend
just didn't
it?
think it was that great.
Did you see Barbie?
No.
No.
Gotta
Did
see
you?
Barbie.
No, not yet.
Not yet.
Yeah, I'm probably gonna go see it.
What can I say? I wanted to love the movie about the guy who made the atomic bomb because sometimes I drop atomic bombs in the toilet. I'm talking about big sloppy dumps. And I'm so happy to be back at home because in my house on every toilet is my bidet from Hello Tushy. When I get done taking a huge dump, I got a little knob and I turn that knob and next thing you know, it's like pressure cleaning my butthole, a stream of just blasting cleanliness and freshness onto my butthole. And it cuts down toilet paper use by 80%. It makes your butthole totally clean. I mean, imagine, like, you're going to take a dump and then use dry toilet paper. It's just like smearing poop around. No. With Hello Tushy bidets, you're blasting your butthole completely clean. And it's my favorite, dude. It's so satisfying. If you've never tried it, you're out of your mind. It's time to get one. And if you go to hellotushy.com/Stevo and use the promo code Stevo, then you're going to get 10% off your first bidet purchase plus free shipping. It's incredible, man. And they're so confident you're going to love it. Plus, I'm so confident you're going to love it. Hello Tushy has a 60-day risk-free money-back guarantee. How about that? If you've never blasted your butthole with a product from hellotushy.com, it's time to go there. hellotushy.com/Stevo and use the promo code Stevo for 10% off plus free shipping. Your butthole is going to thank me. Now, let's get back to it.
I mean, in other news, I went to the UCLA medical examiner today.
Yeah, you got a finger up your butt.
I got a finger up my butt, and
feel?
for the
Did you like
prostate
it?
check, no, it was horrible.
What?
Is it
It's
so
not
bad,
so
though?
bad,
Like-
dude.
Yeah, what's the big
Have you
deal?
ever had it?
I mean, I've
Oh,
put my own
because
finger in
he's
my
like,
butt.
I had
okay,
a
ready,
finger in my butt 2
1,
days
2,
ago.
knuckle deep, and you're just like,
Which knuckle?
probably the point. I don't know. Well, he probably does 2 fingers.
And you
I mean,
didn't
it's
like
not
it?
I didn't like it.
He put in one finger and you said, uno mas.
Uno mas, por favor. No, you're just like, ugh, and then you see white. But you guys,
You see white.
I mean, he's,
Yeah, dude.
it's like, dude, if you're having foreplay, it's like you're rimming the butthole, you're working your way in. You don't just go into the fucking
I mean,
sphincter.
She just goes right in.
So you
dude.
wanted him to tickle it a little bit first?
Yeah. I mean,
If
it
doctors
wouldn't,
would just do a little bit of foreplay, then
it wouldn't hurt as much.
Was he lubed up?
Yeah. I mean, bro, what kind of... Your butthole's dilated to 10 like a fucking pregnant lady every...
I mean, dude, you saw what we put up there. I mean, come on.
Yeah, but it took time. Imagine just going straight in. It's going to be like...
So he just goes.
Yeah, this is Scott like trying to like, it was so bad.
Yeah, I'm not gay or anything. No.
Yeah, Scott's all white.
But it's not a pleasurable experience.
I saw white. Everything went white.
I lost hearing.
you've
My
had-
ears started ringing.
You've had a prostate examination, and it wasn't a big deal.
I blacked out.
Can anybody in the comments talk about that it was painful or not? But anyway, so after they did all the tests, I have high cholesterol, and I was like talking to them about losing
You
weight.
already have results, and it was today.
Dude, it was like the most fucking...
While his finger's in there, he's like, oh, yeah. High cholesterol. Hold on. Yeah. Oh, yeah. It's high.
Yeah.
Blood pressure.
No, he got it today, and I was like talking about weight loss, and he's like, dude, the secret to weight loss is, he's like, if you keep your diet under 1,900 calories a day and you don't go above 150 grams of carbs, he's like, you'll lose weight.
That's what Vinny does.
No, he doesn't. He says he does that. We were on the bus, and he's like, dude, I can't understand why I'm not losing weight, as he's eating the 6th bag of Monster Munch, and he's like, I think I have
Dude, I
a
have a
thyroid
hard time
issue.
saying no to the munch, dude.
So that was interesting, but it's scary, with having high cholesterol and shit like that. So I don't know.
So you didn't like the finger up the butt.
I didn't like the finger on the butt. I don't
You're
know
not
too many
going back
people
for
that
another
like.
appointment.
It's not pleasurable to
Well,
go up with
yeah,
a latex
dude.
glove.
You haven't had my finger.
You have a small little finger.
Yeah.
And then I was like talking to Paul about like, do you ever get checked out? He's like, no, what's the point? And then we were talking about going to the dentist. And he's like, dude, I haven't been to the dentist in a long time. He's like, last time I went, I had 13 cavities.
Not last time I went. One time when I went, I never go to the doctor. Like I don't get like a physical once a year. I haven't got a physical in years.
Same, dude.
Like I don't go to the dentist. I'm not like against it. I just hate. Well, I don't know. I'm not like morally against it. I'm just lazy to like book appointments and go.
But you get yearly
How bad could
checkups,
it be?
right?
I don't know when the last time I got a yearly checkup was, but I go to the dentist every 3 months for
Wow.
a cleaning.
For the cleaning.
Yeah.
But I mean, dude, 13 cavities.
So one time I went to the dentist and he's like, "Wow, yeah, you have 13 cavities."
Yeah,
But I don't know why that is. I think my bones just like are falling apart. Like I don't eat like candy or anything like that. I don't know. I brush my teeth. I floss. I'm just
hippie.
falling apart from the inside, turning into ash.
Yeah, and are you getting your teeth done?
I have an appointment for my X-ray tomorrow.
You're getting them done.
Eventually, yeah.
Like what are you getting done with them?
Everything fixed, maybe replaced.
Oh yeah, that's
What's wrong
right.
with
Is that with our guy that we put you on to?
Dr. Brady?
Dr. Brady.
Bradley?
Yeah.
Brady.
Oh,
Brady.
Brady.
So
Yeah.
you got like big tooth problems?
Yeah.
Oh, I didn't
yeah,
know
for
about that.
sure. I'm terrified, but yeah, I have an X-ray appointment tomorrow. I'm stoked.
So what? You're
Yeah.
doing it here in LA, and you're
Well,
just transmitting the X-rays to
yeah.
Dr. Brady.
Yeah, exactly.
We told Vinny that we're gonna help him with his teeth problems, and he started crying. He's
Oh.
Yeah.
Nice. That was cute.
You did.
I know, dude.
That's
I was
beautiful.
trying hard not to let you fuckers see it.
I was like
I
in
gotta
the
go
other room, and
somewhere.
he's just like walking by, like.
and meanwhile, I forgot all about that, and like we're still doing it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
I
you might
didn't
get
I,
like
like-
veneers?
Yeah.
Yes, you made a
Oh.
generous donation to the cause.
Yeah, have I made that donation yet?
Yeah.
Oh, I did. Cool.
Yeah. No, it's a good thing. Like it's a good cause, because what these people do is they help out like people with like teeth. And teeth issues are a big thing for people.
Yeah.
I mean, it's a big insecurity.
Yeah. When you called me into the green room that night, when you like offered that, you're like, "All right, Vinny, come sit down." I was like, "Oh shit, what did I do?" Like, and then you're like, "So you told Scott your deepest, darkest secrets, huh?" And I was like, "Wait, what the fuck?" In my head, I'm like, "What the fuck did I say?" And he's like, "Dude, I'll pay for your teeth, man." And I was just like sobbing, because no one's ever offered anything like that to me, So I was like,
Yeah, it's like it's just what I donated, like 10,000.
Yeah.
There you go.
Yeah. Thanks.
I mean,
dude.
that's
I love you, dog.
Yeah, I love you too, dog.
Can't wait to see your new teeth. I don't think
Yeah.
of you as someone with like bad teeth.
Yeah.
It's like it's gnarly back there. Okay, yeah.
It's super
What is that from? Crack cocaine?
Yeah.
A lot
that
of
from-
smoking crack.
You don't get teeth like that not smoking crack.
Really?
Yeah, a lot of
Heroin doesn't make your teeth fall out. It's crack.
Well, heroin, because when you're high on heroin, you crave sweets. So it's like I'm eating a lot of sugar too.
But why crack?
Crack, you're just smoking fucking whatever's in crack. I don't know what's
Crack.
in crack. I just smoke it.
Cracks your teeth.
Yeah.
Yeah. Wow.
I mean, meth mouth. That's a thing, right? Doesn't meth
Yeah.
hurt your mouth too? Or is it your teeth, or it like messes up your skin?
Messes up.
I've just
everything.
heard the term meth mouth.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right?
You like meth, huh?
I didn't like it, but I did it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I never turned it down.
I never turned it down. That's a fact.
Did you smoke crack ever, Steve?
I never smoked crack. Not
With all the boiling and like cooking
What about
of
smoking?
like,
What about smoking coke?
I smoked,
yeah, I mean, I would like put coke on cigarettes, but it's not just a waste of time.
It's a waste of drugs.
Does nothing? You get nothing from
I got
that?
higher than a fucking Georgia pine after smoking a lot of coke.
Did you ever smoke crack?
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
that's pretty cool.
Did you like it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like, I don't want to smoke crack, but I'm jealous that you guys like did in the past smoke crack. You know, to say like, yeah, I've smoked
I
crack.
woke up and like I had bit the entire fucking like bottom half of my life, just like, chewing my lip off.
My first time that I was in rehab was 1995. My mom said she wouldn't bail me out of jail unless I went to rehab.
And how old were you then?
I was 20.
Okay.
Still not 21.
Yeah.
So I go to rehab when I'm 20 years old, and like every day somebody comes and somebody leaves. There's like turnover.
For sure.
And like generally we're always in like the circle of feelings. You know, everyone's sitting in a big circle sharing their feelings, and somebody comes and they introduce themselves to the circle and they say what's their drug of choice. And I noticed that when people said their drug of choice was crack cocaine, people are just like they just considered the person a write-off.
Yeah.
Like no eye contact. That person's not my roommate. I would like like that. I just noticed there was something about crack cocaine that was like really, really different from powder cocaine, because if somebody said their drug of choice was powder cocaine, it was almost like snickering, like, what a pussy. You know, like,
Yeah.
heaven forbid if somebody walked in and said their drug of choice was marijuana, they would be like,
Yeah, it's like that half-baked
they
scene.
would,
Bob
they would
Saget,
be
yeah.
like unsafe in there. Like,
So there's
you
like a
know,
hierarchy of drug addicts.
It's like
in
high
rehab.
school with cliques. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah,
When people
And-
hang out
and-
and,
Yeah.
and listen to the Grateful Dead.
If people's drug of choice was heroin, it was like they were just like carried in. Oh, we'll meet them in a couple days.
Really?
Yeah.
Yeah.
What do you mean we'll meet them in a couple days?
Just because they're out of commission.
Ah.
They were out of commission. Like they were, you know.
Yeah, they're detoxing.
Who were like
for,
the cool kids at rehab? Like which drug group is the coolest?
like the.
I would say
Coke.
heroin.
Of course,
Heroin?
you would. You're a heroin addict.
Yeah, you're biased.
Yeah.
I was just, my whole take on it was just that I was like such a rinky dink, you know, like just being there at the time made me feel like, dude, this is
I
a
don't
joke.
belong
Like,
here.
I'm not,
Yeah.
like,
Wait, what were you in there for?
just like,
A
Got
DUI?
a DUI.
yeah, I was there for
Alcohol?
But you were doing coke and stuff.
barely.
So you felt like I'm not even really a drug addict. This is just
Right.
to appease.
Did
my
you
mom.
know when you get out you're just going to get high again when you're in there, or were you really trying to put your best foot forward?
I was like just kind of clueless about it. Like, I mean, I went to a sober living, and then I was just like, all right, dude. I had my buddy Kevo like bring me weed to the
Really?
sober living.
Kevo.
So I was smoking weed in the sober living.
Did you ever talk about the thing that you and Kevo got into where like somebody saved your guys' life? I don't think you've talked about that on this, where the glass was broken and you guys were bleeding
Oh,
out.
that wasn't Kevo. That was my buddy Canyon.
What happened?
It was
This is a gnarly fucking deal, dude.
it was after graduating high school. I was like just turned 18 years old. My buddy Canyon and I, like we were like gnarly drinkers, and we just had like he had like a bottle of Jack Daniels, and we filled these huge brandy glasses, like, and just chugged huge glasses of whiskey. We automatically both blacked out, and there was in his house there was this glass door which he like clearly like he fell through the glass door, landed on like jagged glass sticking up from the bottom, and it cut his elbow like through all like tendons and everything. And we were just both like blacked out, like passed out. And the only reason why Canyon didn't die from bleeding out is because the neighbor heard the glass break and thought that they were hearing a break-in. So they called the cops. The cops showed up and found us just laying in this gnarly pool of blood. Like, it was the gnarliest bloodbath. Like, I was just, you know...
You were out cold?
I wasn't even injured. I was just out. You know?
I was literally taking a blood bath.
I was just out. And so they called the ambulance. Like, you know, homeboy, like, was so... There was more blood than I've ever seen. Because I went to his house, like, the next day to get stuff for him and bring it to him in the hospital.
Weed, pale white.
More blood than I've ever seen anywhere, dude. It was the gnarliest. And so they got us into an ambulance, took us both to the hospital. Like, he needed surgery, but he was too drunk, so they were just kind of like stabilizing him. I was just so drunk they put me on an IV to you know, just
you had like alcohol poisoning.
Yeah, I mean it was pretty serious. And I ripped out my IV. I'm like, we're breaking out. Where's my buddy? And I'm like, I think they said I was like trying to punch nurses or something.
Whoa.
Like, but like doing a really poor job of it.
Right.
Like, you know, and I remember they were like, they got the cops back on me again, and the next memory that I think I had was I was back in the paddy wagon. The cops were telling me, look, if you go back into the hospital to try to break your friend out again,
What a bro.
like, we're going to have to really actually lock you up in jail.
That's fucking gnarly.
It's funny how like you're like being a bro, but you're also not, because your buddy needs like
Right.
medical attention. But you're like,
Right.
I'm gonna save you. Like, I'm gonna get you out of here. It's like he's not in jail. He's
Right.
like being fixed.
Right. And so then this paddy wagon with me and like they take me home and they ring the doorbell. My mom comes to the door, opens up the door, and it's her son, like just cross-eyed, covered in blood. I mean, like, I was like the gnarliest, just covered from laying in a pool of blood, and with a police officer on either side of me, a British Bobby. And they're like, "This is, you know, this is your son." She's just like shaking her head, like.
What did she say when the door shut? Like,
I mean, there were a number of episodes like that.
And for you, when you wake up the next day, are you like, that was rad? Are you like, shit, I gotta go save him, I gotta go get him out? Like, where's your head at? Do you feel bad about it? Do you feel
I recognized that, like, that was, you know, a life and death situation.
Yeah.
You know, I wasn't stoked on it. Like, I knew that every time I chugged liquor, like, there was bad, like, chugging straight hard liquor, like, always ended up in some bad thing. There was a time before that. I used to ride my bicycle around London everywhere. You know, that was my thing. Mm-hmm. And the time before that I chugged hard liquor, I woke up on the hood of a parked car. Like, I was just riding my bicycle and just straight rode it head on into a parked car. Like, landed on the hood, and I had my front teeth broken.
what?
Yeah, like, I
Jesus.
broke my front teeth. They were, like, I don't even remember, like, getting home. I never remembered getting home. Just the next day, and I wasn't even that close to home, but the next day my bike was in an unrideable condition, just sitting in, like, the entrance, in the front doorway of the house.
Just mangled?
Just pretty mangled. Like, I have evidently, like, I don't know, maybe somebody helped me get home. Maybe I carried the bike home.
Wow.
No recollection
No
of any
idea.
of it. And 2 broken
And you're like,
front
okay,
teeth.
next time I chug liquor, I'll wear a helmet or something. I'll be safer.
Right.
Like, that's your
When
attitude.
when did you know you had a problem? Was it like then, or was
The
it
first time when, like, I really read, like, I have a problem, I should do something about it, was, like, after I got placed on final disciplinary probation, like within 2 weeks of class starting at the University of Miami.
You thought you had a drug problem?
Yeah, I mean they raided my room and like.
Oh, that early on, huh?
Yeah, I was
that's kinda
18.
surprising.
Yeah.
I was 18 years old.
What'd they find in your room?
Just a bunch of like you know they have these huge laundry hampers that are like on wheels. They filled one of those up with like empty beer cans and
Really?
alcohol bottles. Like basically, yeah, like it was a lot. It was a lot, and they found like a bunch of weed too.
And when did you start doing acid?
I started doing acid when I was 16.
They didn't find any acid then, or?
No, I didn't find any acid then.
So
But-
all the way already at 18, you're like, I'm a drug addict. I have a problem.
I wasn't as concerned about drugs. It was mostly alcohol.
Yeah.
And when I was 18, it's so crazy. I was like, man, like I remember looking up Alcoholics Anonymous in
wow.
in the phone book, and there it was. I found the number, and that gave me a sense of accomplishment. So I didn't call it.
Like, well, look that.
Yeah, I mean there it is. There's
It's
the
always
help.
going to be there.
Cross that off the old list.
There's the help I needed.
Yeah.
And so, but rather than call AA, what I decided was I said I'm gonna go for 30 days. And not drink. I'm not gonna drink for 30 days, and then that's gonna show me that like I have control, and like I'm gonna do that to prove to myself. And man, the second I started this 30 days no drinking, it's kind of like when you go on a diet, and then all of a sudden all you can think about is food.
For sure.
Because you're on a diet now,
Yeah.
you're extra obsessed with just thinking about food. So all I could think about was just how bad I wanted to be drinking, and that I wasn't drinking. I was just obsessed with it, and I was like shotgunning like cans of Coke and stuff. Like it was like silly, like
That's like Vinny shooting up water
Yeah.
when he's trying to quit.
right.
Yeah.
It was
Just 'cause
crazy.
he
I
loves
was
shooting
so
up.
obsessed with it, and I tried, and then yeah,
we got
thank
Wendy
you,
in the
baby. We
house.
got Wendy. Hey, good girl.
Come on in.
Good girl. I only made it 12 days.
I was going to say, okay.
I made it 12 days, and then what I did was I did a shot of vodka, like one of these 1.75 liter bottles of crappy vodka, and I did a shot, and then I did a shot. I did 12 shots in a row.
To commemorate the 12 days of
Wait,
sobriety that you achieved?
I did one shot for each of the 12 days to unadmit that there was a problem. because what I should have done, in my view, was drink all of it. I should have never even came up with that dumb idea.
That was a mistake.
It was a mistake.
You were correcting
And so
the mistake.
I drank a shot for each day.
So you're clean slate.
Yeah.
Your record's clean. So you didn't feel like, oh man, I couldn't even make it 30 days.
I knew clearly that I couldn't.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah. And that was like a year and a half or so before I was in rehab.
But for drug addiction, this is like you wake up in the morning and like during the day you're like, fuck, I'm a drug addict. And then at night you're like, okay, let's do some drugs. And like you're having fun
Right.
again, right? And then it's just
Right.
like the cycle, right? Like that's
Sure,
how
it's
it's not like you
exactly
had 12 years then of just like feeling like a drug addict all the
Right.
time.
It's exactly
Okay.
it. The cycle of addiction. Like you've got the remorse period, like you've got the like oh and then
Were you waking up and drinking? Because I was like waking up and being like, okay, don't drink till 5, and then it was like, all right, fuck, don't drink till 1. All right, don't drink till 12. Like, were you drinking all day, or were you trying to like be good during the day? Or like I was like smoking weed during the day, and
yes, I was drinking when I woke up, but there wasn't as much of more like smoke weed when I wake up. And
Was there ever a point where you were just so physically dependent on it, where if you didn't drink, you would have the shakes, or?
I don't remember much of that.
No.
DTs.
Yeah, the
Not for
DTs.
any drug? Like, did you have like coke withdrawals or anything like that?
That's not really a thing with coke.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. I'm just like, clearly don't know.
Really,
what
I
the fuck
thought
I'm
like
talking about.
I remember Elton John talking about like he couldn't eat without doing a line of coke or something like that. Like
Kind of the other way around.
He's hungry
Yeah,
for
I
coke.
don't know.
like he couldn't wake up without doing.
I mean,
blow.
what definitely, if I had coke, like if I did a line of coke, then I immediately needed a drink because otherwise,
Yeah, for sure.
you gotta take the edge off.
It's like as soon as I did a shot of coke, I immediately needed a shot of heroin.
Yeah,
like to come down. Yeah.
Yeah.
Right, do a line of coke, and then I gotta have a drink. And if I have a drink, then where's the coke at?
Right.
Were you trying to hide? Like when you were living at home, were you trying to hide your drinking and drug use, or was it pretty out in the open?
When I was living in in high school?
Yeah, or like.
I remember taking like a heavy hit of acid, like tripping my face off. Like I took it at school, and I came home and like ate dinner with my mom.
Whoa.
Like playing it off like I wasn't tripping my face off.
She knew, huh?
I don't think she knew. I don't think she knew.
What was that like?
Then there was another time when my sister and I moved from Albuquerque to Florida, and we packed up the house into a U-Haul truck. So we're driving from fucking New Mexico to Florida. And right before I get in the U-Haul truck to start this drive, my buddy Kirby gave me a bunch of mushrooms, and I ate like I was tripping so hard, like confined in the shotgun seat with my sister, and she didn't know I was tripping, and like we were for hours.
What were you
all
doing?
Day.
She's like, all right, your turn to drive. You're like,
I mean, you could hold it together like that with your sister, or were you just like?
I remember I never really liked mushrooms because like I would just get too introspective, like, and by introspective I mean like I would just analyze myself and like arrive at the conclusion that I'm just
a drug addict.
I'm just not rad. Like I would just be like I would just really criticize myself and just arrive at the conclusion that I sucked and nothing that I was doing was worthy. Like I was just like I'd become very mean to myself on mushrooms.
But not acid.
Acid, not as much, no.
See, for me with mushrooms, it's like I get real honest with myself. Not like mean necessarily, but like I can't like trick myself into thinking something that's not like real. You know, like if I'm like being shitty to somebody, then I take mushrooms. It's like, dude, you're being a bad friend or something like that. Like, you can't hide from it. I can't pretend.
Is this
like,
how you felt
it's
like
fine.
last week?
Was I being a bad friend?
Well, no. I was saying like you take mushrooms all the time.
Yeah. Like right now, for example. I feel
When's the last time you eaten mushrooms?
I mean, this morning I ate a little bit.
Seriously?
Are you serious?
Yeah, but just like a little bit. But it's like, I barely feel it, you know? It's called microdosing.
Are you serious?
Yeah.
And then when's the last time before that?
The day before.
Wait, so you microdose every day?
Well, like, not every day, but I'll go on like multi-day, just kind
Not
of runs of
every
it.
day, just I don't take days off.
No, but what's the benefit from microdosing that frequent?
I don't know.
You won't go to the doctor once a year, but you'll eat mushrooms
They
once a
say
day.
there are medical benefits to taking mushrooms. It's good for the brain, for things like that.
So you're tripping balls right now.
No, that's the thing. I never trip. Like, at most, if I, like, take a little too more than I wanted, then I'll, like, get kind of a body high. And I'm like, whoa. But,
some days do you think, I kind of feel like taking a little extra today?
yeah, some days I go a little more, you know? I overdose myself a little bit. But it's always, like, a pretty micro trip.
So then why do it?
Like, because there's a benefit, supposedly, to microdosing on mushrooms. Like, there's benefits to the brain and, like, the psyche, and maybe I feel it a little bit. It's like an antidepressant, too. It just feels good. I don't know.
Maybe I feel it just a
Wow.
little
I like it.
I feel like the back half of this podcast was better than the first half.
Yeah, we're really cooking now.
Yeah. So you're on drugs and
That's correct.
You're
Just three
completely
sober guys in the car.
You're completely loaded.
So you're completely loaded, yeah.
I know, but I fucking love you, man. I love when we do this and
too.
we've got the gorgeous Paul Brisky
Thank
effect.
you. I love you guys, too.
Yeah, dude.
And
Do we have anything else we want to talk about? It's been
Do we
about
want
an
to
hour.
talk about how epic your special was?
yeah, well, this is our first time all together since
Yeah.
Europe.
Dude, it was fucking badass.
It went as good as it could go, huh?
Yeah.
Yeah, dude, it was so sick.
Like, Now that you've had time since it, how, like, are you?
I mean,
there's
dude,
nothing you would have changed, right? Like, it was perfect.
Ever since then, I find myself at some point in the day, like, thinking, dude, that was actually real. Like, it happened like that.
Yeah.
It was that badass.
Yeah.
I was so nervous about only having the 2 shows.
It was perfect.
Yeah,
we had put on we had added the Thursday, and it just wasn't. I was like, fuck, this show's not going to sell out, and there's no way that stage would have been ready.
I know, it would have put so much stress on making sure everything was ready by then. It just was impossible.
So we turned off that Thursday show,
That was
and and we pulled it off in 2 shows.
It's pretty sick, dude. I can't wait to see a cut of it. And then, so last night, you did a set at the Hollywood Improv. Your first set, starting from 0, putting together your next hour.
My first set, starting from 0 on what will be the Gone Too Far tour.
How did you feel about that?
I felt like I was unprepared, and what do you want? You just got to put yourself into the fire. I mean, I had enough to talk about in just kind of a big picture view of what the show is. Got a great joke out of it about the on the gun part.
Which joke was that?
The one where I was like, ruined a perfectly good bit.
Yeah, right.
I had there's
yeah, that was funny. Yeah,
that was nothing that I'd ever even that came out of that.
Yeah, that's true.
Should
we even say what the joke was, or just leave it at that? But yeah, that's true. There was, like, that's the beauty of it. Like, that's at least how I approached it when I was doing stand-up opening for you. Is like, when I try to tell a story to my friends, like, I always try to get a laugh, just naturally. I'm trying to be funny.
Yeah.
So, like, go up there, talk. Like, your instincts to, like, make them laugh will kind of lead you to finding the jokes. It's amazing.
Right. And what I need to do is find the story in the overall arcing, like from the story for the whole show.
Right.
And where I was imagining that the whole story was of me confronting middle age, I'm thinking more that it's a story about pushing things further, and how the conflict isn't between me and middle age. The conflict is between me and my loved ones, and how they view it, and what their arguments are for each bit for me to not go through with it. And ultimately how, when my loved ones try to convince me to not do a bit, what they don't realize is that they're reinforcing my belief that this bit is actually epic. Mm-hmm. The more people try to convince me not to do something, the more attractive that bit is to me. And I think that in each bit, like the arguments that were presented against doing the bit, and the relationship with my loved ones and how they're dealing with me carrying out the bits, I think is more the arc than the middle age.
Yeah, I like that. And then you also put, like, not just your loved ones, but like society, and like testing, like, how far can I push this? And,
right.
like, are we going to find, the only way to find the line is to cross it. That's what Hunter S. Thompson said.
Yeah. So yeah, it's exciting, and the process begins.
I'm stoked.
Yeah, dude.
Fucking rad.
Super sick.
All right, man. Well, I fucking love you guys, dudes.
Love you guys,
Me
dude.
too.
You.
That's cool.
And wouldn't you know it, that after we recorded this podcast just earlier today, I find a response from Bam to my response. And get a load of this.
It's the worst stuff. Stop skateboarding, please. It's not pleasing to my eyes. Still get it.
Oh, my skateboarding is not pleasing to Bam's eye, huh? Bam. That hits me right here. It's a personal attack, and I don't know what to say, Bam. Like, I think that my skateboarding is actually a lot like my tattoos. Like when I give people tattoos, not the best tattoos, but for some reason people love my tattoo. I give better tattoos than you would expect, and I'm better at skateboarding than you would expect. People want my boards. They're buying them. So I'm sorry, Bam. There's nothing I can do to make you feel better. I'm selling skateboards, and they're available at stevo.com. And now we've got the Chris Pontius and Stevo double-signed collab skateboard, the Wild Board. So suck on that, Bam. Go buy one at stevo.com.